Okay, so this is today's topic, which is data table. Okay, and the common activities or common operation which we do with the data table. Okay, so we can create a data table, we can display the data table content, and how to go with each row for each row in data table, or how to add data row in data table, or merge data table, join data table, sort data table, filter data table. There are multiple operations which we can do in data table. And then at the end, we have exercise. But how we gonna go with the today's session is we'll see one activity. Okay, we'll see about those activity. Like, okay, suppose we have add new data row. Okay, we'll see, okay, that activity, and we perform that activity in UiPath parallelly. Okay, so we learn and we perform at that particular time. So for this session, what I want you all to have is open your UiPath, and one or a particular one operation will do together. Okay, so for that, I need you to open UiPath, and whenever I say, now you can perform, then you have to perform that thing. Okay, and at the end, we have one exercise for you. So let's go ahead with the content. So first, let's understand data table. What is the data table? Okay, so data table is a part of ADO.NET library actually. Okay, it represents an in-memory tabular data structure. In-memory means it's a variable actually. It's not very hard code thing where it is written in Excel or anywhere. No, in Excel it's table. When you get that table and store into a variable, that becomes a data table. Okay, and data table is stored in memory. In memory means your RAM cache, while runtime memory, it will be stored in your runtime memory. Okay, and data table is tabular data structure that can hold multiple rows and column. It is often used to store, manipulate data retrieved from database. So mostly what we do actually is whenever we want to perform some operation in Excel file, or whenever we want to perform operation in your database. Okay, so what we do actually is we fetch the data. Suppose we want to add a column in Excel file and delete the duplicates, and then we want to add 15 rows. Okay, so instead of doing that thing in Excel file directly, what we do is we read Excel file. Okay, okay, so what we do actually is we read Excel file, store that whatever we read from the Excel file, we store it in a data table, and then we do operation, and then paste that data table back to the operation, back to uh, your Excel file. Okay, so let me tell you this thing as a, you know, so what we do with the most of the time, or every time, what you have to do is basically, so suppose you have an Excel file over here. Okay, you have some Excel file, and in the Excel file, what you need to do is you need to, suppose you have data columns, you have four columns, C1, C2, C3, C4. Now what people are expecting from you is you add C5 column in this one. Okay, and you need to add few rows of data. You have R1, R2 row, R3 row. This is information, okay, about. So you have to add, suppose this is a student information database. Okay, so you have four student. Now you are adding fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth student over here. Then you have to sort this data according to the student ID. So what will happen when you do it directly with the Excel file? Okay, you are working with the actual memory. That means it will be slower. So in automation, the target of automation is not just save money, but also save time. Not save resources, but also time. So what we do actually is we fetch the data from Excel, whatever existing data we have, we fetch it. We store this data into a data table, We call it data table, variable. Do operation in this data table variable, because this will be in memory. That means it will be in RAM. That means it will be in your runtime memory, runtime. And runtime execution is way faster than actual execution. You can manipulate variable way faster than you are manipulating actual data. The data can be in your PDF, the data can be in your Word file, the data can be in your Excel, the data can be anywhere. It is actually you are doing with that particular thing. But when you do the same thing with a variable, it is actually doing with the cache. So it's like, suppose you have to build a car. Okay. Suppose you have to build a car in Pune, and the parts are in Bangalore. So when you do operation with Excel, it's like you took a tire to Pune, then you assembled this to Excel. Then you took a steering wheel to Pune, then you assemble in your car. Then you took a engine, and then you assemble into that car, that engine. So what will happen? Every time to and fro is there. You're going, coming, going, coming, going, coming. It's not faster one. I'll give you another thing. I'll say do one thing. Whatever operation you want to do, whatever operation you want to do, you do it over here in Pune only. Create everything from here. Take everything from local vendor. Build over here. And then take your car to Bangalore directly. It's way faster. Right, Sachin? Nah.
Yes, Mahendra.
Yeah. It's way
Correct.
faster than, yes, it's way faster than doing to and fro things. So what we do actually, the same thing we do with Excel or any other database. Okay. We do the same thing with any other database. What we do basically, we don't do every operation in Excel file, or we don't do, if they say, okay, do one thing, add a column in Excel file. You go to Excel file and you ask your bot to add a column. Then what happens? They say, okay, you have to add 10 rows. Then you go back to Excel file and add 10 rows, and then you have to do multiple things in Excel file. So what you do actually is you do operations in Excel file. Instead of this, what we can do is we can get the data from Excel file, do my operation with the variable, and then paste it back. And then paste it back. That's how, and that's how basically your variable things goes, your RPA goes, your automation goes. Okay, this is how you have to do things. So whenever in future you perform any operation in Excel file, you just have to read data from Excel file, do update, and then paste it in Excel file. So before learning Excel automation, the next topic is Excel automation. Before learning Excel automation, if you learned data table automation, you know Excel automation. You can do anything with Excel. What will be the operation in Excel file? Create a data, right? That's you can do. That first thing is create a data table. Create a table over there in Excel file. That you can do. Sort the data table. You can do. Filter a data table. That you can do. Everything, whatever we can do in Excel file, okay, whatever we do in Excel file, we need to do it in data table, and then we'll paste that data in Excel file, overwrite that data in Excel file. Okay, so first thing is to understand what is data table. So data table is nothing but a data table is a part of a ADO.NET library. It represents in memory. That means it's a variable. It represents in memory means while running runtime memory. It's represents a runtime memory. It represents the RAM memory. It represents the cache memory. That means now it's there, it's not there. You know. Okay. So what happens when you have data table? So where the operation are performed and how data table operations are different from working with database or Excel operation. This is a very important question. They ask this question in interviews mostly. They ask you where the operation are performed in data table. When you are saying you're gonna short data table, when you are saying you clear data table, when you are saying you build data table, when you are saying you join data tables, merge data tables, where these operations are performing. So these operations your bot is performing, your bot is performing in RAM, in memory, in runtime memory. Runtime memory is always faster than your hard code memories, your ROMs, your allocated memory locations. Okay. So this will be operation. Now, how these operations are different from working with database or Excel operation. First thing, it's in memory operation. You understand? Second thing is bulk operation. Bulk operation, as I told you, you're taking tire from Bangalore, then you are assembling it in Pune. You're taking steering from Bangalore, you are assembling it in Pune. Then you are taking things from, other thing from Bangalore, you're assembling it in Pune. You're taking engine from Bangalore, you're assembling it in Pune. Instead of doing this thing, what you can do is you can take everything from the local vendor, you can assemble it over here and send your car to the Bangalore directly, a newly built car to the Bangalore. That's bulk operation. That means you can do at a particular variable, you can do multiple operation. You don't have to go back to Excel file. So what will happen if you are doing with the Excel file, my code will go back to the Excel file. They say, hey, I want to add a column to you. They will say, okay, fine, add it. Now you add it. You came back to a normal, you came back to UI path. Then I have another operation in UI path. I say, okay, 15 rows you have to add. Then I'll go back to the Excel file and I say, hey, Excel, I want to add 15 new rows into you. That Excel will say, okay, you have to add, but one by one. Okay, I'll say, fine. One by one, I add. Now I came back. Now in UiPath, the operation which I need to perform is sort that data table according to the IDs. So I will again go back to the Excel file and I say, hey, can I sort your data? That Excel will ask me, oh, how much you want to, which column? Then I'll say this column. Okay, it's to and fro things. Instead of that, what I will do, I'll read the data from Excel file, make operations in my variable, data table variable, whatever operation I have to make, either either I have to filter, I have to remove, either I have to add, either I have to short, anything. And then I'll go back to Excel and I say, hey, this is new data, please paste it in you. Khatam. You have only two steps to perform. Now you have only two steps to perform. Okay. Again, reduce network latency. Okay. So when you are performing anything, any operation with a database or Excel file, there is a possibility that there, network latency. Suppose you are working with database. So there is a chance of network latency. That means you have a, very bad network. My UI path is not able to connect with database. What will happen? The connection will broke or there will be slow. And if you are doing to and fro operations in database, that will be very slow. So instead of that, what same? I take the data, I do all the operations in my database, data table variable, all the operation over there, and then paste it back to the data table. Okay. Parallel execution. You can do a multiple processes, multiple things in data table. You don't have to like one by one you have to do. You can do multiple things together. Optimize activity. These are optimized activities basically. Okay. Data table means optimized activity means they first thought what maximum you can do with Excel file, what maximum manipulation you have to do with your data, and then they created these activities. So now you are able to understand what is data table and why we are using data table operations instead of doing operation directly into Excel file or database. Okay. So till now, if you have any doubt, please go ahead. Bharti, all good?
Yes, all good.
Okay. So yes, Farah, I think your network is not strong, right? That's yeah, I can see you're connecting, disconnecting, getting.
Yes, Maninder, I can. There is a issue that is coming up, but
Okay,
I was able to understand.
okay. If you have any doubt, please stop me there and ask. Okay, Samruddhi, all good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you woke up late, huh?
Sorry.
No, no, it's completely fine. I can understand. Okay, so let's start. Okay, let's start our thing with our first operation, which is our data table. So first thing, what they can ask you is they can ask you to build a data table. Okay, they can say, okay, first thing in Excel file, they can say you need to create a data table. Okay, so for that, together, what we will do, so we have an activity for that. We have a build data table activity, okay, which will help to create a set of customer, you can create custom rows and columns. So suppose I want to create a data table which is name, which is containing name, student ID, is Indian, and branch. I want to say that okay, whether the person is Indian or not, whether the what are the names and all, what are the student IDs, branch. Okay, I want to add these four columns in my data table. Okay, I want to build a data table, and these are the information which I want to add. This Kevin, John, Rohan, Rita. These four informations are there. These are, I can understand this is a very color contrast is there, but once I create it in UiPath, you will be able to understand. Okay, so the first task over here is to create a table. This can be your first task in in your Excel file, also in your database. Also they can ask you, okay, do one thing, create a table over there. So what I will do, I'll create a table in UiPath with the help of data table, and then paste it over there wherever it is required. Okay, so your first task is to build a data table. So I'm going to build a data table with the help of UiPath data table activities. Okay. So let's wait. My UiPath is getting started. Okay. So with me, you can perform these activities. Okay. So I need to create a process and I'll give it a name called data table operations. Okay, and description I'll keep implement all the important data table operations. Okay, then I'll go to the location. I'll choose the location as in my desktop. I have a location called this one, right? I have my folder created in my desktop. I have already created this folder, so I can create this project inside that. Compatibility will be window, language will be VB, keep it like this, and then create. Okay. So with me, you can create this process. Please create it. So parallelly, what we will do is parallelly, we're gonna perform tasks together. Like I'll perform this, then I'll give you 2 minutes. You can perform that, then again. So in this way, your practice will be done. And at the end of the session, we have exercise, okay, which you have to perform by your own. Okay. So okay, let me check whether okay. Now this is your data table operations, right? Your process, main process. So I'll create a file and I'll create it as a data table manipulation. I'll give it a name, data plate manipulation. I can do it in main also, but I'm doing it in a new file. I've created a new file. And suppose you don't know anything about the activity, like which activity to use. Okay. So what you can do is you can directly go to activities panel. Okay. You can directly go to activity panel and paste it over their data table. Okay, you have pasted, you have wrote directly in the activity panel data table. So you have these multiple operations which you can perform in data table. Anything which you can think doing in data table, you can get it from here. Okay, so first thing, we need to build a data table. So we'll take a data table from here. Once you drag this activity, what will happen? I'll open the property panel. So in property panel, you can see it is giving just an output. That means whatever you're gonna create, it's gonna store inside this one. Apart from that, you don't have anything, right? So I'll click on this data table thing, and this is basically data table, panel. It will create a data table panel. I click on this one, and it will open a build data table wizard for me. Okay. So once you drag this activity over here, you will see a data table button over here. I'll click on this button, and I have this build data table wizard. By default, you can see two columns are over there already. Okay. And this is data. So what I need to do is, if you want to create this column, okay, or you want to edit this column, what we can do is, you have a pencil mark over here. I'll click on this one, and now I can change the name from here, the column. So what my column name was initially, my column name was, first column name was just name, right? So I have to give just name over here. So what I will do, I'll give it a name. I made the column as a name, and as name will be of type string. So I'll keep it string. If others, you can, from the drop down, you can choose it. Okay. Allow null. Yes. Whether you want to allow this column value to be blank or not. Like, means suppose in third row, fourth row, fifth row, you want name to be empty? No, definitely not. I'm gonna create, I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a student info data table where my student information will be, like name will be there, my student ID will be there. It will be there. It will be, I'll be checking whether it is an Indian or not. Then the branch will be there, which branch the student belongs. Okay. So definitely, I don't want the name to be, empty. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna say allow null, don't allow. So uncheck it, and it will not allow null value or empty value in this column. Okay. So allow null, empty, definitely. Default value, definitely name can't be default value. You can't give a default value to the name. You can't say that, okay, fine, this is 6, means default name is like Suresh. If there is no name, put Suresh. No, definitely not. I don't want any default value. So keep it. And unique, no, I can't. I don't want to have unique value in this column. Definitely name can be duplicate. Like if once one person name is Rajesh, another person name can also be Rajesh. Okay. So I don't want to keep it unique. Okay. Maximum length, that okay. Like my name is Maninder. I have 8 characters in my name. Okay. Like if we take Nilofer. Okay. So Nilofer has 7 characters in her name. So how many characters you want in your name, or that will contain, it will be denoted the maximum. So keep it 100, keep it 100. If you are not confident, if you are saying that, okay, some person can be, can have name of length 1,000 or 12,000 or something like that, or not name only, there can be, this field can be of something else, and that characters can go more than 1,000, 10,000, and you're not aware, you're not, uh, you know certain about it. So what we can do is we can give -1 over here. The moment we give -1 over here, it will allow n number of characters, any number of characters. Okay, so I'll press OK over here. Okay, and for the second column, okay, please focus over here, and I'll give you a chance to do it. Okay, so the second thing is, I'll click on this pencil button. The second column which I need to make is, that is student ID. Okay, so student ID, I'll build it like, yeah, I have to make student and then ID. Okay, and as my student ID is a number format, I'll keep it int. Allow null, no, I don't want to allow null. Auto increment, means if this is a numeric value, suppose first field value is 11, second field value will become 12, third field value become 13, like this. Whether you want to allow auto increment, these field is mostly for serial number, where you want to put serial number. So you don't want to write 1, 2, 3, 4 in a serial number. You want it to be auto incremented. You add new row, the serial number should be increased automatically. So you, whether you want auto increment, definitely I don't want auto increment. If you want, you can click on this one. So student ID can be anything, can be not in a proper format. Not format means it should not be 11, 12, 13, 14. It can be 11, 77, can be 22, this kind of thing, or 23 or something like that. Default value, whether you want to put student ID, something in student ID as a default value, definitely I don't want to put anything in default value. Now unique, I want to make it unique. Why? Because student ID should be unique value. Two students name can be same but not student ID, so I'll keep this unique, and the maximum length is -1. And this, you can see, this is by default I can't change it, because my int 32 has a special you can say that, okay, if the variable is int 32, it can have a particular length only, because it's defined, it's a basically system defined. You can't say, okay, in int 32 I want to add only 2 characters or 3 characters. No, it's an integer. It has by default predefined length, so it became -1. That means it's taking information from its by default product. Okay, and then I'll place okay. Now I have 2 more rows to add, sorry, 2 more columns to add. The first is Indian and the second is branch. Third and fourth, basically. I want to add 3 and 4th column more. So what I can do is, what I need to do is, over here you can say plus button. You will click on that plus button. And now it has asked me for adding third column. So is Indian, it will be true or false. If it is Indian, true. If it's not Indian, false. Okay. Allow null, definitely it's possible that where you're not aware, you're not certain about whether the person is from India or not, so keep it like this. Auto increment, definitely it's not numeric value, so it's disabled over here. Default value, I don't want to put any default value over here. Okay, unique, definitely I have 2 choices only, true and false. So unique, there's no chance of unique. Okay, so I'll press OK. Now third column is added over here, and you can see it's kind of this checkbox. Okay, that means true and false. Okay, now I want to add 4th column. Similarly, you can click on this add button and I can add 4th column, which is branch. Okay, so branch, and branch can be string. Allow null, definitely I can allow null. Default value, if the branch is not given, I am saying not decided yet. Okay, unique, definitely not a unique one, and press OK. Cool. So I have information about this. I want to add, these are your 4 columns. Okay, now you can perform in your UiPath. What you have to do is, you have 4 columns over there. Okay, you have to take build data table first activity. Okay, in your project you have to take build data table. Click on this middle build, this button data table, and it will open a build data table wizard. Over there you can add 4 columns. Okay, so please create this 4 columns over there. Clear about the vision, Rohan?
Yes, Maninder.
Okay, are you performing? You have UiPath installed?
Yeah, I am doing that.
Okay, okay, great.
Um, Maninder,
Yes,
is the
Parag.
student ID incremented or is it
No, no,
I
no.
don't know.
No, student ID is not auto incremented. Auto increment you will put only for serial number mostly.
Okay.
Because student ID can be anything, like your ID can be 112, and then suppose my name is there after your name. So I don't want it to be 113. I can be, my student ID can be 117, something like that. Huh?
Okay.
So we can put on. Yeah. Okay. Is it done, guys?
Yes, Mahendra.
Okay. Now quickly, faster, faster, faster. Preeti, you are done?
Sir, I'm doing.
Okay. Good. Okay. Mhm.
Sir, I have added two columns, name and
Mhm.
student ID.
Mhm.
Now I want to add more two columns.
Mhm.
So I forget how to
Okay.
add
So
these two.
yeah, so whenever you want to add a column, you can click on this button. You can see in front of first column, there will be a add button over here. You
Okay,
can click on this
okay,
add button and it will open a new column. So you can add information
okay,
over there.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Maninder.
Yeah, Rohan.
Yeah, what is -1 showing in the max length while
Okay, so
selecting?
-1 means either it will take the information or the length information from user, and if it is taking in from information, length information from user, suppose over here you can see it's editable, right, in the string. So that means the length of string can be anything, it's not defined. If I put 100, so that means you can add, suppose if I put 8, simpler method, okay, I put 8, that means it can take, like my name is Maninder Singh, my Maninder is 8 characters. Singh, if you add Singh, then you have 5 more characters. So if I put 8 over here, I can write in my name field, I can write Maninder only. It will not allow me to add ninth character. But if I put -1 means you can have name of 100 character, 1000 character, any n number of character. -1 means infinite characters. You can add any number of characters. Okay, over here. If it is asking user to edit this information, that means if you put 100 -1 over here, that means you can have n numbers of character in this field. But in int 32, you can see over here it's -1 and you are not able to edit it. Okay, that means if it is giving -1 over here, that means it taking information from the fundamental length of int 32. Fundamental length of int 32 means that it will have a particular length, not the length which user has defined, because int can have a particular length only.
Yeah, understood now.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we have defined the structure over here. Now let's understand how to add the information in this one. Okay, so what I need to do is, by default, I need to create this table. That means first is Kevin, second is John, third is Rohan, fourth is Rita, right? And these student IDs are over here. So how to add information over here? So first is Kevin, I'll open this Excel file over here. Yes. Okay. Now I have the information in my another screen. What I can do is I can directly go over here. Now, first thing is you want to add information. So suppose I'll double click on this one, and then I will add Kevin. Okay. Tab. Then I'll add 11212. Okay, which is there. Then is it Indian? No, Kevin is not Indian. So I'll keep it blank. Branches, I'll put it not decided. ENTC. Why I'm getting not decided? Because by default value of branches not decided one. The value was not decided. Okay, so over here you can see it's default value not decided yet. So whenever I put any other information, it will be not decided. Oh, I saved it. So it will be Kevin. Okay, Kevin tab. I have 11212, then tab, then we have false. Okay, so it's false, like I'll keep it blank, and then I'll make it ENTC. Okay, and press enter. Okay, oh, the value cannot be null. Okay, branches, I have to put branch, so I'm putting branches ENTC. Okay, now I have another column already. Why it is showing me default value? Okay, over here. Okay, now I have to add a value. Okay, I'm putting it like this. Okay, and name over here. So I'll put John and tab, then 12768. Okay, and not decided yet. And I'll put value over here, which is Mac, and I can save it over here. Yeah, why it is giving me, because this column is already there. No? So press OK. Okay, now I have these information. Okay, now if I want to add more information, I can add Rohan. Okay, and then 11414, then we have true, so I'll make it true. Okay, then I'll make it as comp. Okay, and you press OK. Okay, now I have to add more information. So you can add all the information together and then you can press at the end save. So I have Rohan. Okay, now I have information like 58566784. Okay, then I have false. This is Rohan. Oh, sorry, it's Rita, not Rohan. Rita. Okay, and then this is the information. It's false, and she's also from computer. Okay, and then I press OK. Okay, So all the information you can, for now, you can feed one row only, cabin and all. If you want to add more, you just have to, what you have to do is you will click over here, double click over here, and then press enter. The moment you press enter, it will add a new column, new row for you, okay, where you can make the entries. So wherever you want to do it, you just double click on the last column, press enter, it will create a new row for you in that. Okay, so you, for now, what you can do is you can just add one information, okay, to make it fast. You can add just one information, Kevin or something, or John you want to add. So now please add, you have 10 minutes, please add two information into your data row, and then we'll save this data table. I'm sorry.
Maninder?
Yes.
Yeah, so just one question here. For the student ID integer 32, so auto increment from where it will be start from 1, or do we need to specific add?
No, whatever number you give, okay, suppose you have given 11212. Now, when you add next entry, this will become 11213. So this will be auto incremented like that. Like you have given serial number 1, when you add another row, it will become 2, it will become 3, it will become 4, it will become 5. So it's like that.
So by default, it will start from 1.
No, it will start from the number which you have given. Like I have given 11212 here, right?
Yeah.
Once I add another row, it will become by default this value, John value will become 11213. So it is like this, auto incremented.
Okay.
Okay, please add this one, add two rows, and then we can go ahead and check whether how to save this data. So Farah, you added two rows. Did you add two rows?
Yes, Maninder.
Okay, cool. So these are the information which you need to add. Okay, I'll press OK over here. Okay, and then now my question is, I have created this data table, but I want to use it in future, right? So I need to use it. Before using that variable, I need to store this information. I need to store this all information into a variable. So I'll create a variable, data table variable, and assign it to the output of this activity. Because output of this activity, build data table will say, okay, give me all this information. So I have given all this information, and then it will say, okay, I'm going to create a data table for you. So it created a data table for me, but at the output, it asked me that, okay, I have created a data table. Tell me where you want to store. Tell me in which variable you want to store. So for that, I need to create a variable, data table variable. Okay. And that data table variable will hold this table. Okay. So there are two methods to create variable, which I have told you. The first one is you can create it from variable panel. You can go over here and create a variable over here, just give a name called, suppose I'm giving a student info, and then I'll go over here and then I choose data table, and then I'll go over here in build data table activity, and whatever output it is giving me, I'll store it inside this variable. This is the first method. But I don't want to do it like this. Okay. And I don't think you have to do it in future also. You don't have to do it. I'll delete this one. So what we will do, we'll go over here I'll click on this one. I'll press Control K, and it asks me, please set the variable. So I'll give students underscore info, students info, and hit enter. The moment you hit enter, in your variable panel, you can see it has created the variable called students info, and the variable type is data type. Sorry, variable type is data table. So how my UiPath knows that this variable type should be a data table? Because when I press Control K and try to create a variable with Control K, UiPath automatically create a variable type according to the need of that field. Because need of this field, if you can see, it is giving me output data table, and the data table type is written in this bracket. The data table type is data table type. No, the variable type over here at this data table is data table, system.data table. Okay, system.collection.generic.data table. Okay, so this is data table. That means this field was expecting a data table. So when I press Control K and create a variable, it created a variable of type data table automatically. So that's how Control K works basically. So you can create any from anywhere a variable with the help of Control K. Okay, so I have created a variable with the help of Control K, and I have assigned whatever table it has created, I have assigned it directly to this data table variable. Okay, so similar thing you can do. You have created a data table. Please click over here and press Control K and create this student info data. Okay, and let me know if you are getting any issue. So it's a small task. Please finish it. Preeti, all good?
Maninder, Amol here.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Amol. Okay, Amol, please tell me. Yeah, buddy.
So every time we are doing same thing, that like if we have Excel
Mhm,
and we'll take that Excel data in memory, right?
mhm,
And after that assign the variable, right?
mhm. Yes, yes, yes.
So how memory management happens in UiPath?
So whatever UiPath is just like other compiler. Okay, so whatever variable operations you are doing, whatever things you are doing with a variable, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
these variable are basically stored in cache, runtime execution, as variable happens in runtime execution, right? In the cache, if you say x is equal to 5 and then you do some operation x plus 13, and then you do operation, whatever things are happening, it is happening in cache, and at the end you are getting information. So
Mm-hmm.
you are talking about this memory, right? This thing, this
Right,
information.
right, right.
This information will be stored in your this file, XAML file.
Okay.
In this XAML file, this information will be there inside this activity. So
Oh.
this is hard coded information. But when you have to do some operation, like suppose you want to add one column, okay, and then add 15 rows, that
Mm-hmm.
will be added in this data table over here with the help of your in cache memory. It will not happen with, it will not go back to Excel and say, hey, add a column, hey, add 15 rows, hey, like it is happening at UiPath only. You just have to interact with your Excel file at once or twice. Like once when you want to get the data, another
Mm-hmm.
time when you want to paste the data. Done. You don't have to every time go to Excel file and
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
for.
Getting data means they are just copy and paste to his memory, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay. So memory size increase.
yes, yes. Memory size
Okay.
increase at that time only.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you can store this thing into this variable with the help of Control K. You can create the variable. Okay, now we have created the variable over here. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you are doing a task and you want time, please let me know also together. Okay, so we have built the data table. Now we want to see this data. Yesterday also I told you one thing, that okay, whenever you want to see a collection, and you put a message box over there and you say, okay, why I am not able to see a collection directly this way? If you say, okay, I'll do one thing in the message box, I'll take directly over here and I'll say student info. I'll take, show me the student info. And you run it. Okay. And you run this one. As I told you yesterday also, it's not possible to see directly the collection. Okay. It's not possible. If you say it will give you table name, just giving you a random, random message, table name, nothing. It's not going to show you this table entirely. No information it is showing you. Even it is not showing a single information from here. It's not saying, okay, first column is this or this data. No, it just give you a random garbage value. That's table name. Give you like table. So it is not giving you the actual when you have to, you are pasting this collection. Because in the console panel, you can write only string values or a single values, integer, number, double, float, boolean. You can write these, but not a collection. You can't paste list. You can't in the logs. You can't show list directly, a complete list directly, or a complete table directly. But when your bot will be running, it will be running on a robot. And you will be checking logs in orchestrator. That means this code will not visible to you. This code will not visible to the business team. Business team only need your logs. Business team want to see, okay, what table it has created, okay, what operation it has done, okay, now what columns it has. So how to see this thing? So whenever you want to see a data table in your log, like I have created a data table and I'll add 15 rows. But how I'm gonna get a confirmation that 15 rows has been added or not? So whenever you have a data table and you want to see the data table in message box, for that I have an activity. Okay, I have an activity of data table. Have an activity of data table. That activity is known as output data table. So what this activity does is, this output data table activity will ask you to give a data table as input. And it says, see, I can give you a CSV format of this data table. CSV format, remember, CSV format is not a tabular format. It is a string format. Comma separated value. It's not a tabular format. It is a CSV. It's a string format. Always remember. People get confused. People say, hey, this is a CSV file. I can open it in Excel file. No, CSV file is a text file. It is supported by Excel application. That doesn't mean that this is a CSV is a tabular format. CSV is a string format. Okay, this is your second question. Whenever you do Excel automation, whenever you data table automation, whenever people talk about in the interview, people talk about data table operation, whenever people talk about, data table operation, Excel automation, database operation, there will be a concept of CSV. They say, okay, I was getting input as a CSV. Then they will ask you, okay, just tell me a small thing. This is a, not a topic thing, but tell me a small thing, whether your CSV is a string format or whether your CSV is a tabular format. And people get confused over there. They say it's a tabular format. Because traditionally, conventionally, we are seeing CSV as a table, as an Excel file. And we think, oh, Excel file is a tabular thing. No, Excel is an application which support few things. Okay, so this output data table, what it does is, it says, give me a table, give me a data table, and I will give you a CSV format of it or a string format of it. So output data table gives you a CSV format of the table. And when I do control K and say str student table, I'll make it student table. Okay. So now you can see I created with the control K, and over here in the variable panel, you will see it has created a string format. Although output data table gives you a CSV format of that table. Always remember, when they ask you what output data table does, lot of people say, oh, it gives you a string format of the table. No, it gives you a CSV format of the table, and the CSV format is actually the string format. Remember the difference. These are very tricky questions. If you know these questions, people will know that, okay, you have the depth of knowledge in whatever you are learning. Mostly what they does, they say, oh, I'll build a data table. Then what will happen? I'll take an output data table to see my data table, how my data table has been created. And what output data table does? It gives me a string. Okay, out, you are out. It gives you a CSV format. You give a data table, it gives you a CSV format. And that CSV format is nothing but CSV format is string format. Everywhere your CSV format is string format. Now it has given me the CSV format. Okay. Now I can write this str student in my data. Now, if you see over here, okay, if you see over here and I run it, this file in my message box, I have given whatever output data table. Now you can see over here, name, comma, student ID, comma, is Indian, comma, branch, then another, Kevin, comma, 11212, comma, false 2. This is comma separated value, CSV. These all are comma separated, and this is string. I can see this is getting stored inside a string only. So that's a CSV format, is giving you CSV format, but in a string. If it is string, why there is a comma? And if it's comma, it's a CSV format. Okay. Got it, Rohan?
Yes, Mahendra.
It's clear, right? Okay. Now you can drag output data table over here. Give it the input as your student information table. Tell this output data table activity that, okay, hey, this is my student info table. Convert that into CSV format. And then whatever it is giving you, store it inside a variable. You need to create a str student table variable and then save it over there. Okay. So please perform this output data table. I don't think it should take a lot of time. You can just drag it over here and then take a message box and check whether you are getting your data table or not. Okay. So be faster.
So, Maninder, can't we do this
Mhm.
output data table in the same variable?
No, same variable you can't, because this build data table variable is a data table variable, and output data table will give you output as string, as a CSV, not as a data table. So there will be clash.
That is also a output, right? That's why I was asking.
Which one? This one?
No, first variable,
No, this
student
is
ID.
student ID is input for this output data table.
Yes, no. I'm asking about this build data table. There is
Uh-huh.
output variable, right?
Yes.
We have created output variable student ID. So
Uh-huh.
student ID, we can't convert it as a output data table, like doing some formula or something.
Okay, you are saying that you want to convert this directly into CSV format, means from
Yes,
here
yes,
only.
yes,
No,
yes.
it is, see, build data table will build a data table for you, and it says, give me a data table variable. Because if you see over here, it is
Mhm.
expecting data table variable, not string variable. Because it's saying, okay, you give me a data table variable, and then I'll give you the information. If I put, suppose my str student table is my string variable, right? And if I give over here, suppose if I give str, so it will give me error. See, it give me error. What is it giving me? It is giving the value of type data table cannot be converted to string. That means I am giving a string, I'm giving data table, and you are giving me string. I can't convert my data table variable to string. So you need to give me a data table variable. So that's why I gave a data table variable over here, student info. And then when I have this data table, inside my data table, inside my data table variable student info, I gave this variable to my output data table variable as input, and I say, hey, listen, I have a data table now, students info. Now you need to convert this student info into a CSV format. Then I'll give you to, and then it says, okay, I have taken the students info data table from you. Please convert that. Now I have converted that into a CSV format. So tell me where to store. So it is expecting a string variable over. So I have to give the string variable.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you can use build data table, output data table, and perform it. Okay. Okay. It's so
Hi,
cold over here.
Maninder.
Hello, Bharti.
I got a doubt like in the output panel of the output data table, you wrote str underscore student table, right? It's a variable name. So can we means it's you wrote it like that, or can we write only student table, or it's compulsory you should write str underscore?
No. You can write any name. If you want to give
Okay.
next day, you say X only. I'm giving just X. Okay. I
Okay.
can give X only. Variable name. So variable name should be in a such a format that, okay, you will be able to understand it. Okay. So
Okay,
str
sure.
student table, it is showing that, okay, I'm saying that, okay, it is student table, but in a str format. So I just gave it. If you give next day, control K, and I say X, okay, now it is storing it, your text inside X. There's no problem. You can see there's no red button.
Okay, thank you.
Mahesh, all good, buddy?
Yeah, Maninder. Good.
Okay, where are you? In Pune?
Andhra
Andhra. Oh my God. So how is weather in Andhra?
is very cool.
Not colder than over here?
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Nice, yeah. So nighttime something, it is 5 degree, 4 degree over here. So it's hell cold
Yes,
over
yes.
here. Yeah. Cool. Okay, now I guess you are done with the output, right? Sachin, done with the output data table?
Yes. Yes, man.
Okay. Farah, all good? Bharti, all good?
Sir, I have also done.
Okay, great. So Preeti, nice. So let's see. Now I have one operation. We have built a data table. Second operation, we can see that I want to see the output data table as in message box in a log message or anywhere you put. Okay. Now the third thing. Now let's understand what we have to do as a third operation. So we have created a data table with the build operation. We have displayed the data table content. Okay. Now it's good. Now third operation is to add a new data row. Here some tricky things happen. Okay, remember, here's some tricky things happen. Okay, you need to add a information in a data table. So anywhere you go, most of the time you have to add the data table. Whenever you want to add a information into a data table, it will always ask you to add one by one. There are two methods to put data into a data table, either by one, or either you append the data from somewhere. Okay. Appending data is very easy. You take a data table, you take first data table, you take second data table, you take second data table and put it in the first one. Done. That's append. But when you have to add one by one information, particular information, add data row information in a data table. So let's see how we can add it. Okay. So if I go my UI path, okay, now over here, guys, please focus over here, and this is important. Okay. So add data row, I take a directly from DataTable Activities. Add data row. Now you have it is asking you, okay, I'll add data table. First thing it asks me as an input. If you see in the property panel, input, it is asking me in which data table you want to add. I'll give my data table as a student info. My data table is students info, which I have built over here. Okay. Now you have, so logically it will like, okay, where you want to place your information and what is the information. That means in which data table you want to write the row and what is the row. Tell me what is the information row. Okay. Now, when you want to give information row, it gives you two options. First option is data row option. Data row means you have to give a data row object. Or second one is array row. Okay. Let me tell you the difference between these two. You will be able to create a array row. Most of the people, if you go over there, 90%, 90 chodo yaar, 99% people are using array row only. That means you give the information like an array, like this. Okay, first thing was name, right? So I gave Maninder. Okay, second thing was student ID. I gave 11414. Okay, third thing was, what was the third thing? I have to give, third thing was true or false. So I give true, it's Indian. Fourth thing was what I need to give branch. I give ENTC. Okay, sorry, as a string format. Okay, and I press OK. Fine. It is giving me error. Why it is giving me error? Because this has a bug in UiPath. I have to give this thing also as a text. Okay. And this one, this is more type of, okay, I have to make everything as a string. That's the problem with this new UiPath feature. Okay. I have to give everything as one type when you are adding a row. Okay. Cool. I have added information like this. Either you can give your information as array row. Hi, Pravesh, I need to put you on mute. Okay. Okay. Either you can give information as like this, directly, array row. Put information like this. This is what 99% people are doing, and it's easy, and you have to also do it. You can do it also. It's good now. Okay. But what is this data row? Here people are not aware of it. Only 1% or 2% of people are aware of data row. These are, you need to have it in the depth. Knowledge should be in the depth. So how data row means, if I have to give, suppose someday you have to give data row. They're saying, no, array row I will not take. In interview, they are saying, okay, array row, I understand you can use array row in the add data row. You can give information as a array in array row field and it will be acceptable. Either you can give array row, either you can give data row, but I want to take data row. I want to take information as a data row, not as an array row. So it will be a little bit tough, but but what will happen? I want to create this data row. So first, when you want to create a data row, first thing which you need to do is you need to create a variable. So in this PPT, I have mentioned first option, which is data row, giving value as a data row. Array you can give like this. If the columns are name, age, is Indian, and these kind of things, you can give name, age, and is Indian or not, like this. But what if I have data row? I have to give data row. So first thing is you need to create a variable, and you need to create a variable and assign that variable, dr, assign that variable to a new. That means how I go over here, I'll create a data row variable. So I'm giving dr. I've created a data row variable. I can see in the drop down this not. I have to browse it. That means, and I'll give data row. The moment I write data row, system.data.data row, I'll get double click on this. Now I created a variable. Now what I need to do is, second thing is, I'll take a assign activity. Why I'm taking assign activity? Because I have created the data row variable. Sorry. I have created the data row variable, but what will be the structure of this data row variable? What will be the structure of this data row variable? So to give the structure, I will create this data row variable. Okay, data row variable from the student info structure. That means new student, sorry, data row, sorry, data table dot Okay, wait a minute. I have to give it as a new row, right? Data table. Okay. I'll give it new student underscore info dot new. Wait a minute. Why I'm getting this problem? Data table dot new row. I don't know why I'm getting this issue. I should not get this issue. Data row, data table, new data, new row. It's new row, right? It's new row. So I'm creating a schema. So there's a problem. There is a problem. It's data row. So I will create. I'll assign this thing over here only. So in default value only, I'll assign this one data row. So I'm assigning new. Okay, student. I'll press a student info dot new row. Okay, and I'll assign this one. So that means I have given a default value to this data row. That means how I have given this data row default value. That means okay, I have chose the language as VB. So that's why this problem is coming. Okay, so I have first created a data row object. Okay, then I have said, okay, I have created a data row object, but how this data row object structure will be defined? That's how that's how we create instance. That's how we create an object. That's how the concept of object works. You create an object of a class to show that, okay, this will be the outline of my class, now my new object. Similarly, you have created a data row. Now you have to say that, okay, the data row is there, okay, but what will be the structure of data row? So when I say student info dot new row and assign it to data row, that means I am saying data row will have 4 columns. Like this structure it will be. Now I can assign value to data row. So whenever you want to assign value to data row, okay, so how to assign? Take your data row bracket, and now you have to give column. So my column name was name. Now in that data row, to this name column, I'll give a value called Manin. And that's how you give the value. Again, you have to give another column. You have to assign the value. Then I'll give dr, again bracket, this is there, and I'll say student underscore info. Sorry, not info, ID. And then I'll give my number like this. Now you have created a data row. Now instead of array row, you can assign it directly to data row. You give a data row and it will accept it. So add data row accept 2 values, either array row, either data row. So you can give data row directly over here, or you can give array row. It completely depends on you. Okay. So either you give over here, either you give over here. So either you give data row, which means array row, either you give. So mostly people go with conventional method. How conventional method? They say, okay, instead of doing this much thing like creating a data row, variable, then assigning a structure to it. That means creating an instance of it, assigning a structure to it, then assigning value like these, and then giving it in add data row. I'll directly give it over here like this. Okay.
So Maninder, we are just creating an object of that, right? And
Yes,
provided
yes.
value.
Yes.
Yep.
Means over here?
No. In DR.
In DR, yes. So what we have done, first we have created the variable, then second we have assigned it the structure. Okay. And the third thing, what we are doing, we are giving each column. I'm saying that, okay, in that structure name column is there, I'm assigning value to it. Okay. And then
Right.
secondly, I'm assigning student ID to this number to the student ID column of that column, that row. So that's how you are, it's a very lengthy method, but in interviews they ask you mostly, and sometimes they will say, okay, you have to assign values like this only to, you don't have to assign it like this. Because what will happen, suppose in array row you forgot the you forgot the structure of column. Like you say, okay, you know the column name, but you forget that, okay, first which column was where. And I gave true instead of this, and I gave this, means instead of this I wrote this one, and over here I wrote true. I thought, okay, my is Indian column is at second, and I gave it over here, and it's gonna give me error. So instead of that, what I did, I created, it makes clear things. And most of the people are using this because this is conventional, easy. Okay, this is conventional and easy, but not you can say accurate properly. Coders go with this only, means the hard coders, they go with this only. An interview, they ask you over here also. First thing in the data table, they don't ask you build, how you build a data table, how you add. No, they don't ask you. They ask you output data. What output data tables gives, whether your CSV is a string or a tabular format. Then they ask you, okay, how, tell me if I want to give data row, not data array. I want to give data row object. So tell me how to give it. So first you create a variable, then you assign this new row to this data row variable and make it a data row object now, and then assign values to it, and then you can assign directly over here. It's giving error because either you have to give this or either you have to give. I remove this one, and the error will go ahead. Okay, so either you can give data row, either so. But most of the, if this is a tough interview, they can ask you that, okay, I want to accept data row. I'm not accepting data array row, I'm accepting data row. So that's how you goes. Okay, anyone has any doubt, they can ask the question. Okay, so if you don't have question, please take a add data row. You can add, for now you can add array row, and while you take recording, while you watch recording, you can do it by yourself like this thing. Okay, so please take a add data row. To information, it is asking you in which data table you want to add it and what you want to add it. So give the information as array row, curly bracket, inside it double quotes, comma, double quotes, comma, double quotes, comma, double quote, comma, and give all the information. Okay. I think it's went too depth today. There are multiple things where we went too depth. Okay. Preeti, all good?
Yes, sir, all good.
Okay. Samruddhi, you are able to understand things, Baba?
सर
हाँ, समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ हाँ आ रहा
अच्छा,
है
ठीक है. अगर नहीं आएगा तो ask me, okay?
हाँ यस सर
Okay, cool. Okay, so quickly guys, finish this one, add data row thing, then we'll go to the next one. Now, next operations after this. Okay, we have multiple operations. We are going from easier way to the tougher one. We have then filter also, we have merge also, then we have join also. Join is a very interesting topic. At the end, I'll tell you the join also. Don't worry, we are in the basic one. As soon as you grasp the basic one, you will be easily able to understand AI Center. You will be easily able to understand RE framework. You will be easily able to understand Excel automation, Outlook automation, Excel automation, mail automation. These are very easy things, and you will be done in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like that. But these are very logical things. Basic things are more logical things. So these are informative for you, and these are very interesting things. So if you are thinking that, oh, basic is taking a lot of time, basic will take a lot of time. And these basic, on the shoulder of these basic, you can fire, your advanced things. So Take your time. Okay. Bharti, all good?
Maninder.
Ho gaya?
Not yet.
Okay. Finish it. Okay. Okay, Bharti, you're done?
Error.
What error you are getting?
For that, shall I?
You want to share your screen?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, you can share your screen. Okay, I'll stop the sharing. Yeah, please go ahead. I think you have the permission to share. Yes. Yeah, it's giving you error. Can you click on the add data row? Yeah. Click open the property panel, please. Yeah, all good, all good. Property panel. Go to property panel, please. I know where you have put, where you haven't given data table. It is asking you, you gave the information where what to add, but did you give information where to add? You haven't give data table. See, you haven't give data table value. Where you want to add this information? So can I take the control? I'm taking control from your screen. Okay. Now see Bharti. Okay. So if you see over here, you have given the information in input. If you see, you have given the information what you want to add, but where you want to add the thing, you have to give a data table, right? Where you want to add. So you will give student information table. You want to add information in the student information table. So you have given two things. These things should be not there, and this should be there. And I will pin this one. Oh, sorry. And pin this one. Okay, a little bit over here. I'll make it a little bit over here. Fine. A little bit over there, like this. You can make. Oh, I'm not able to catch it properly. Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
Close the variable. Yeah. So you have to give two information, and you can save it. Okay. I'll revoke the exit the full screen. Revoke the mode control. Okay. Now I'll share my screen. Okay. Okay. Okay, now you are able to see my screen. Now, what we have next over here is mouse. Okay.
I can't see your screen.
Okay, you can't see my screen. Okay, stop sharing. And again, I'll share my screen. Give me a second. Okay. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Able to see my screen?
No.
Any other people who are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know, Mahesh, why it is not visible to you, buddy.
I can see your screen, Maninder.
Okay. Who is not able to see? Sachin?
Yes. Yes, Mahendra, I can't. Should I join again?
Yeah, join. Yeah, Sachin, you can join again. I think
Okay.
there is a network problem maybe for you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, join it again. Okay. Okay. Now, what we have next? We have add row. Fine. We have seen add row. Now, we want to delete row from data table. Suppose you want to delete row from data table and you want to delete, Rohan's information from the data table. Now, when you want to delete Rohan's information from data table, you have two options. Okay. If I show you in my UI path and I want to add Rohan's information from some time you have to do some operation, small operation. So what we will do, delete, you want to delete the data row. So I don't know the activity. Suppose I don't know remove data table or anything activity over there. Okay. So what I have is I'll go over here and I'll search and I have remove data row and I'll scroll it over here, drag and drop it over here. Now, remove data row, again, it is asking me some information, input information. Okay. So whenever you do some operation in any data table, any database, any Excel file, there are three kind of operations you do basically. One is manipulation, where you are not getting anything. First one, manipulation. That means update, or sorting, searching, these kind of things. Second thing is where you are fetching information. You can fetch the information and it will give you output. That's a second kind of thing. Like you said, okay, give me 15 rows, top 15 rows. It is searching. Okay. Like you say, okay, give me this thing. That's basically first thing is called manipulation. Second is fetching and these kind of getting, selecting. Third one is when you delete things. Again, that comes into manipulation only. So there are two kind of operation when you do in any database, data table, Excel, or anywhere. There are two kind of operations. One is manipulation. Second one is fetching. Simple. In manipulation, you don't get anything. You just manipulate the original information. Like you have seen, you have added the information. That means when you added the information, it was a manipulation. You just make update over there. One row added. Similarly, remove data table is also a manipulation kind of statement. That means you are removing the data table. You are not saying, okay, remove the data table and give me the original data. No, you just say, I'm giving you a data table. I'll give a data table over here and I'll give a data table like this, where you want to, in which data table you want to remove the data table. I remove the information. I say students information. Fine. First thing I give. Second thing, either you can give row object like this row object, dr row object, or you can give row index. How to give row index? Row index, that means I'm sorry, row index always, wherever it is index, it is always start from 0. That means this will be 0, 1, 2, 3. What I need to delete? I need to delete, it is asking me, so let's delete the data row containing data Rohan. Right. So that means if I go over here, my Rohan comes at 0, 1, 2. So either I can give a data row object or I can give row index. So I can give row index at 2. When index always, wherever there is an index always start from 0. Always remember. So this is 0, 1, and 2. So it will remove the information, whatever information at second index. So I give 2. Okay. So you can just, like me, suppose you forgot the activity. So what you need to write? Data table, and then you scroll down and see whether something remove, delete, truncate something with data row or not. So you say, oh, there is a remove data row. You just drag it over here. And Like other activity, like other manipulation activity, it is asking you, I'll remove the data row, but which row I need to remove and from where I need to remove. Like addition also, what I need to add, in which place, in which, where I need to add. Similarly, what I need to delete and from where I need to delete. So what I need to delete is at second row, third row, or second index. And from where I need to delete, student info table. Okay. So these are the two small information. So you can drag, remove data row over here, and please make the update over. If you have any doubt, please ask the question.
And Maninder, if I
Yes,
want to remove multiple rows, multiple data rows, I need to take to remove data row activities.
yes, you have to take two, because remove data row means you are removing the data, one data row. Basically. If you
Okay.
want to add multiple, if you want to remove multiple data, then you have filter operation for it. Because you will say, I want to remove, but there will be some condition, right? You want to remove whose ID is less than this, or you want to remove whose branch is like this, right? That's a filtration part. Or if you want to remove duplicate rows, you have remove duplicate rows also. You can just drag,
Or
remove.
something like Mahinder, something like a
Huh.
range or index 1 to 3 or 3 to 7, like that. Can we do it?
No, remove data row, basically, it will ask you to remove one row, basically.
Okay,
Only one row. So if you want to remove, suppose you are saying that I want to remove top 4. So basically this is, kind of an advanced manipulation. So for that, you have formulas, data table dot something like formulas for that.
Maninder, how is it different from remove data column?
In remove data column, you remove the column actually. That means, it means, suppose I have a data table and it has a column C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. Okay. And then I have rows R1, R2, R3. Okay. And I have like this. So when you say remove data row, it is removing a particular row from that. When you say remove data column, that means you are removing a particular column, either this column. So this column will be deleted basically. Got it?
Yes, Maninder. So what will be the output? Like this will be saved as a data table or
Same, in the same data
yes.
table only you are doing. This is a manipulation. This is actually an updation. So when
Okay.
there is a updation operation, manipulation operation, so if you go to SQL or database queries, there are two kind of queries. One is where you get the information, and the second one is when you manipulate the data table. In manipulate data table, you don't get anything. You just manipulate the data table. That means if you have something in Excel file and you say, okay, delete this column, it will directly go to Excel file and delete the column. It will not tell you that, oh, hey, listen, I have deleted the column and now your data table look like this. No, you will go to Excel file and check, okay, now my data table look like this. That's called manipulation operations. So these are manipulation operations. You say add data row. So it added the data row in data table. So when you next time you go to the data table and check your data table, you will see these many column has been added. If you say that, okay, remove the data table, you will see that whether the data table is removed or not, you will see the information over there. So to see that one, as I have output data table, I can take the output data table again. Okay. And I'll give my str, no, not str, sorry. I'll give my which data table I want to convert into string or CSV format. I have student info, and then I'll give updated data table. So if you see the operation, you want to see this one, I'll take a message box after that. Okay. And I will put a message box over here. I'll drag this one over here and I'll check it in, I have what I give a name, updated data table, something I gave, right? So updated data table, I gave the name, I'll check it in a message box. Now after that, I have done two operations. After building and I was looking at output data, I have did two operations. One, I have added data row. And second, I removed the data, the Rohan data, which is placed at index 2. I have removed that one. Okay, so let's run this one and check initially and finally. I have two message boxes. Okay, the first one is, which is the original data, earlier data, the first data. Okay, where I am getting the information where the problem is. Just give me a second. Where I'm getting a problem, I'll put in a debug. So if you run it, you will not able to get it actually where the problem you are getting. Okay, why I'm getting this information? Data object dot operation through. Give me a second. Let me check. Oh, it's just giving me a problem. Okay, I'll remove this one for now. I'll delete this data row. Okay, and I'll add this one. Maybe I'm just guessing whether this is giving me error or not. Okay, and then okay, it is compiling. Okay, that was giving the error only. Okay, I'll check that later what error it was. Message box. Now this is your original data table. Okay, this is your original data table. Okay, now I press OK. Fine. Now over here you can see this came to add new row. Now I'll press over here. It will remove the data table. Now again I'm checking my data table over here, and in the message box you can see Rohan information has been removed and my information has been added to this one. So if you want to check it, you have to take a output data table and then you can check it in message box. Got it, Fra?
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Okay, I'll check later why I was getting that error.
You have received one error, right? Object reference is not set to instance of an object.
So that was with the data row basically. I need to check why this new and thing was getting. That was with the data row object. I need to create it with the help of new and instancing. So I have done that object part in my day 2 practice. Let me check it in. Okay, till then you can perform that operation like removing the data row. I have created this one new row over here and I have added this one short data table. I'll remove this one. Okay, I have given a data row. If you see, I'm not getting error over here. So I don't have to give it in a default value, I guess. So it's there in an output data table. If I have output data table over here, I can see it in my output data table also. Okay, so my data table, build data table has information text only. And I have added one information, Maninder and age like this. So let me run this one. So it's not getting error over here. I'll check it. So I gave it in a default value. Instead of it, I have to assign it basically. That's why it was giving me error. So I gave over here. Now you can see it is running finally. There's no issue. And now in my log message, I can see in my log message, I have put it. So I can see over here. Information is there, right? So there's no issue. Okay. I was getting problem with the only thing that I have put it in default value instead of I have to assign it with the help of assign activity like this new row. And my input data table should be the actual input, the structure I'm creating it over here. So we'll see it later. Yeah. Okay, so if you have performed your information into that one, or you have removed your information which is required. So now next operation, what is a common operation is when you want to check the data table. So this is with this for each row, your basic operations end. Basically, you have to create a data table, you have to delete a data table, or add column. You can see the add column also. Okay. Then you have filter data table, merge data table, join data table, then sort data table. These are your other operation which you have to do. But before going into one more operation, what I'll do is I'll add a column to this one. Okay, I'll add a column to data table, and we'll end today's session with this one. And next session we will start with the advanced thing. When you want to see each row, or when you want to do some operation in each row, like suppose I say, okay, your student ID is this, but you have to add two number more to that student ID. So how to do that one? Or you have to, if the ENT is there, make it a new branch like ENT1 or ENT, old ENT, like this. So how to do that one with each row, we'll look later. Then we'll see how to filter information, okay, according to the student ID, according to the name, according to anything, how to filter it. Then we'll see how to merge information. Suppose you have some information of old students, and now you have information of new student, how to merge them together. Then we'll see join data table. Join concept is very interesting, and this concept comes from SQL. So I'll explain you how, what left joint is, why, what right joint is, why full joint is, why inner joint is, what these joints are. And then we have sorting a data table, how to sort a data table according to the information. Okay. So our last topic of today is adding a new column. Okay. And then we'll go with the for each row in data table in the next session. So how to add a new column? Now you have already a data table. Okay. You have already a data table ready with you over here. So now I want to add one more information over here. Okay. That's total marks. Means how much Kevin have scored, how much John, Rohan, Rita, and all have scored. If I want to add a column, suppose I want to add a column before adding any new information. Over here, I want to add a column. So how to do the thing? So what I will do, I'll just write data table. I'm doing it in your way, okay, not in my way that, okay, if I remember the activity, I'm just doing it. Suppose I don't remember the activity, I just go over here and just type data table. And we have add data column. I'll drag it over here. Now again, add data column in input. It takes few things. It will say, okay, where I need to add this data table. So I'll say we have student info data table. Here you need to add the data table. Then you will say, okay, what I need to add, where and what. This is a manipulation part. Only two questions comes in the manipulation row. What you have to do, where you have to do. Simple. Okay. Now, either you can give column object like you have given, like you have given over here in row object. You will create again column object, similar pattern. Create a variable of column, then assign it a structure, then give it a value. Or you can give directly your column as a simple string form. So I want to add a column. So I'll say, instead of this, I'll just give total marks as a string format. Second method is to create an object of column and give it over here. Instead of doing that bigger thing, I'll do directly. Simple. What I'll give? I'll directly give a string format column. Now, here comes the basic information. Basic information. These all information are similar to the information when you were clicking and adding a column over here. Same type, auto increment, default value, unique, maximum length. Similar pattern, similar thing over here when you are adding a new column in between. The first thing it asks you, it says what type of argument it is accepting. I say, okay, it is accepting number. If it is string, you say string. But total marks can be 99.5. Total marks can be 583.6, something like that. So it can be, it is not an integer. What it is? It is a Boolean value. That means, sorry, it's not an integer. It is a double value. Either I can give float or either I can give double. Float will be like 1.7, 1. No, this is a total number. Total marks can be 1600.5. So I'll give to, so over here I can't see double. I'll go to browse. If you are a logical person, you will know that double is, what is double? Double is basically a primitive variable. That means double will be system dot, okay, system dot double. If it is a collection, if it is a non-primitive and it's a collection, it will always be like system dot collection dot generic. Then you have list, dictionary, array, or something like that. But double is a primitive variable. It's store a single value. So that will be always system dot double directly. You double click on this, and now this total marks will be stored as double value. Now allow null value. I want to allow null value, definitely not. Or yes, I want to add a null value. I will say that fine. There are few students whose information I don't know. So allow null value. Auto increment, no, I don't want to auto increment. It's not like, okay, one student had 21 marks, then second row will have 22, third row will have 23 marks. No, I don't want auto increment. Default value, if the marks are not known, what default value I want to give them? I don't want to give them default value. Maximum length, definitely it's a double, so keep it empty. It takes from the by default value from here. And unique, no, two people can have same marks, so I have added one column over here. So when I'm adding a new information, I need to give the marks over here, and I'll give marks like suppose I gave 56.7. This is my marks, because now my column has been added to the original table. That's why I need to add total marks, additional information in. While adding the information, I need to add one more information over here. And now when I run it as a debug mode, suppose, okay, and I go step into, I'll go step into message box. You can see this is your original data table, which is name, student is Indian, branch. Okay, I press okay. Now first thing is column has been added. How column has been added or not? Now if you see in the local panel, in the students info data table, you click on this pencil mark and you will see the total mark has been added. As this is a by default value, means this is a double value. You can see the default value of double is 0, so it is added to all the columns, because when I created the table, this column was not there, and now I have added this column, so it will add 0 marks over here to existing students, as there is no, because while creating this column was not present, but then I added the column, so it will ask me, oh, what should I give to the existing students? So I haven't give the default value, so it will take default value as the default value of any double. So any double default value will be 0, integer default value will be 0, and string default value will be empty string, and boolean default value will be false, like this. So it gives 0 to all the students. Now I add data row. Data row has been added. Now again, I can go to this local panel, I can check student info. Now you can see it has added my name, Maninder, and you can see Rohan is still there, right? Because I haven't removed data row. Now it is performing remove data row. That means it is not yet, it's partially executed. That means it is at that urge to do it. And then I press step into, it is green. Now if I go over here again and click on this pencil mark, now you can see Rohan is not there. Now I'll go to output data table, and then at that I can see my data table it over here. So it's like 000, but for this one 56.7, and I press OK. And then you can see all is there. Okay, so this is how you can remove data table. You can add a column to your data table, and you have all the information. Okay, so guys, if you have any doubt for now, please let me know. Amol, all good?
Yes, Mahendra. Actually,
Okay.
we'll practice it and we'll let you know.
Yes, yes, yes. That's why I'm going very slow. Really going very, very slow. In 2 hours, we have seen 2 to 3 things, but as you can see that there are multiple small, topics and clarification which is required, like output data table thing were there. While
Yeah.
while
And
you are
most like actually that debugging mode is good in your Apple.
this one, right? One by
Yeah.
one thing. Yeah, trailhead and all. Yeah, these one. So don't worry. In the starting, it takes time. Whenever you are learning something in the starting, it will be like, okay, it's very slow. When you will look back and you will see, oh, in 2 hours we just saw 4 activities. But in the starting, it takes time to grasp things, right? So that's why we have to take very slowly. Later, you will be very fast. Don't worry. That's my experience of
Yeah.
last 7 years. So
Mm.
cool. Okay. Anybody, Bharti, do you have any issue, buddy?
Oh,
Huh?
I don't have any issues. I understood.
Great. So, okay. So if anyone has any issue, please let me know. And further, what we gonna see in the next classes.
And Maninder, can you
Yes.
please add look data table also?
Lookup data table also.
Mm.
Sure. I'll add lookup data table also. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Okay, cool, fine. That lookup data table also I'll add. Okay, now no worries. Okay, so next class we'll see, first thing we'll see in the next class, we'll filter the data table. Okay, and then we'll see the filter operation, how it happens actually. Okay, then we'll see merge data table, what merge data table is. And in merge data table, you have very very informative thing over there. That's a missing schema action. So when you are merging two data table, if one data table has 4 rows which is matching, like name, student ID, is Indian, and uh, you are adding two data tables. Suppose one has C1 and C2, and the second data table has C1 and C3. So what will happen when you are merging them together, the data you are merging them together, but the columns are not matching? What will happen? How to handle that thing? Okay. Then second thing which we'll understand is join. Join is very, very vast. Whatever you can see over here, it's a very small part. But when you look into a join concept, okay, these are the particular concept, how interview process goes. First, as an interviewer, I ask people, and most of the interviewers, I ask people very, normal topics. Like, okay, how Excel automation done? Okay, fine. This is the first level. Then we go with the second one. We go with a little bit logical thing. Why you are using data table instead of Excel? What is the difference between Excel automation and workbook automation? What are the 4 important things required to do mail automation? These are the second level of information. Direct information, but a little depth information. Then we will come to the third one, scrutiny, where we will ask, okay, why output data table? Where we will ask, what is CSV? Where we will ask, okay, when you are doing object, what is data row object? How you build a data row object? Give me a little bit gist about how joint work. What is left joint? What is the difference between full joint and right joint? What is inner joint and full joint? So we will ask you these kind of things, and then we'll give you task to do things. So when you are learning anything, even when I'm teaching something, I'll repeat same thing 4 times, 5 times, but you will see in every statement there will be depth. First, shallow, a little bit. Second, a little depth. Third, a little depth. And the fourth one is the deepest one. Okay. So this is the way you have to learn things also. First, you are learning normal thing. Then you will go a little bit depth, like filter and all shorting. Then you'll go merge. The fourth, you will go the joint. Okay. That depth one. Okay. And then at the end, we have exercise for you. Okay. So whatever you have learned till now, data table, so wherever you go with the database activities, database, wherever you go with the excel automation and all, always remember, if your data table activities are clear, your data table concepts are clear, excel automation, I'm telling you, excel automation is 30-minute walk. 30 minutes, you are done with the excel automation. Excel automation class maximum will go for 1 hour, maximum 45 minutes, 1 hour, maximum, max to max. It will go forward. All the thing is in data table. So please focus on data table activities and also perform whatever we have done till today. We have done variable and data table. Finish that 2 things. And your basic automation will be done. Your base of the automation. Others are like Ratantu Vidya. You have to just remember things and do things. But these are logical things. Where and why. Okay. So if you have any doubt, guys, now please go ahead and ask the question. If you don't have doubt, I'm really happy for you. Enjoy your Sunday. Yesterday also I said the same thing, enjoy your Sunday, because I was not aware that is Sunday. Okay, Saturday. So Nilofer, all good with you?
Yes, sir, all good.
It's clear for you, all the things, anything which you want to
Yes.
ask? Okay,
No,
good.
it's clear.
Okay, so guys, if you have any doubt, please tell me your available time in the mid of the week, and whenever you have doubt. Okay, so you can say that, hey Maninder, I want a doubt session with you for Wednesday or Thursday or anytime are you available, and you can put in the group so that other people can join the doubt session also, if you have any doubt session. Also, if you have to download like download UiPath and installing UiPath, you are getting any problem, you can directly connect with me and you can say, okay, hey Maninder, in the group only, you can just push, you can place your query over there and say that, hey Maninder, I want to connect with you regarding this thing. So please let me know. Okay,